Hi, my name is Adriano Zanetti and I'm really happy to share with you Firefighter. This is a deck that I've been working on for many years and is our first collaboration with Phoenix, so I hope you enjoy it. The idea behind this routine it was that I wanted to create a visual image of a burned deck with only one card that remains safe among of the others one, right? So the first inspiration it was Inferno from Joshua J, but I was thinking about how can I combine the method with the classic invisible deck, right? Like using roughing smooth. The thing is that with this deck you cannot show faces and backs of the cards. So thinking aloud about this, I came out with this idea. And also, in this case, you don't show that one card is reversed. In this case, the way in which the card flows among all of the other ones, it is that is the only one that is safe.
Let us start with the content, what you received. Inside the deck of cards, well, maybe Adriano, you want to show it?
Yeah, of
It's
course.
a complete deck burned, seemingly burned. And if you go through the cards, you might notice that some cards are single, one by one.
Yes.
And that there are then in the middle cards kind of sticking together and they are doing triplets. We will come to this in a moment. You certainly see that these cards are all burned on the faces and on the backs. What we cannot print certainly is the edges. We cannot do this, but we recommend that you should burn the edges. So far the edges look grayish, but not gray enough, right? Mm-hmm. The best way would be to light a candle and just hold the edge over the candle.
Exactly. You make sure that do not stay like this with the deck of cards. So you have the flame there, and you move on, and you will see that they turn black.
The suit will be on the edges. You might even have something on your hands. What
the
makes
first
it
time
even...
that you do, you will...
And it's even making it more authentic, right?
It
Because
is.
that's how a burnt deck should look like. And that makes them all nicely even. And when the edges match the faces and backs, it really looks burnt. Much better than just the printed deck itself, right?
Yes.
So you have a deck already prepared with the edges, right?
I have it here, yes. This is all burned, all around the edges. You can see the difference, right?
Oh, 100%, yes.
Yeah.
This really looks burnt and it's beautiful like that.
Yeah, it is interesting also combining the real burns with the print burns. It makes the deck look really real, right? Yeah. Also, in some cards, what I do it is I burn it more. You see, I take, in this case, this is not arranged, but you can see here, for example, and in some cards are burned a little bit of the edges of the card.
Beautiful, yes.
So I mix some of these cards, they are the single ones, of course, please do not burn the trios, and I put it in the middle of the rest of the cards.
Okay, so how does how is this deck set up? Shall we take this one that is not burned? Yes.
This is
yet?
only to demonstration.
So I'll spread it a little bit, and maybe we do later a close-up shot. But there are at the beginning of your deck, when you select them, you will find cards that are completely normal, single ones, no roughing, nothing, and at the beginning and at the end of the deck.
Yes.
Right.
You find single cards until you reach to the ace of spades. That's important. We're gonna see it later.
The nice part about it is it looks like a single card. However, actually these are 3 cards roughed together, as you can see, and because it's like a sandwich that holds the chosen card in between, it can be handled like a normal card that is completely burned. But also you can open up the gimmick and reveal the ace of spades in this particular case. And as long as you keep it closed, nothing really happened.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the jack of spades, ace of spades is in the front, yes. So Do you want to explain the setup, how these cards are grouped in pairs of 3?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have this really easy. You know, it's like you say, there are groups of 3 cards. In this case, the ace of spades is the one that marks the suit. So we begin with the spades. In the middle of this trio is going to be the first card, that is the jack of spades, right? The second trio is very easy. It is the next card in the picture range, that is the queen of spades. The next one, it is the last one in the spade suit, that is the king of spades. So there you have the 3 cards from spades, the 3 picture cards that are from the spade suit. Then you will see the ace of hearts. That means that the heart suit begin. So first of all, it is as here, the jack of hearts. Then in the next trio, the queen of hearts, so it's really easy. And finally, the king of hearts.
Yes. Well, and it continues like this. Under
Exactly.
every ace is certainly the matching jack. Then the second one would be the queen, and the last one would be the king.
Exactly.
And we added some small little features to it as well, because as we have to reveal one of the court cards,
Exactly. Yeah.
we don't want to have maybe, let's say, the king of hearts would have been selected. There cannot be another king of hearts maybe already burned somewhere in this pack. So we had to make sure that all the picture cards in this pack that are burned visibly would be not able to show any index. So you would notice that this is a red king, certainly, as there's a red index of a K, but you will not be able to recognize if this is a heart or a diamond king. So this one here is covering a lot, right? And there are other picture cards of the normal ones that don't have any roughing. And then we have the ones that are convincing even better, because behind every single unharmed cards in a triple, in this sandwich, the last card will always be a picture card that is an opposite color. So spades would have a heart underneath, a heart would have a spade, diamond, a club, etc., etc. And there it would be very visible which index it is, so that not every court card would be impossible to be recognized.
Yes, that's a really interesting detail, I think, because it allows us to show one specific picture card.
But it's very subtle that you can show it without saying anything. It's just there, right?
So after the heart trio, it comes, of course, the club trio, and the last one is the diamond, right? You have the jack of diamonds here in between, with, like Kirsten said, a random picture card that it shows his suit. Then the queen of diamonds, and finally the king of diamonds. And then you have some more single cards with some picture cards in between that also have the suit burned.
Now, so far we only spoke about the faces and how we can identify which sandwich we have to open up to reveal the chosen card. All this can also be done face down. Maybe you're familiar with the marking of the Phoenix deck. And we are using this marking of the Phoenix deck for these triplets again. When you go through, you will feel immediately when there will be a triple coming. So the first sandwich would then be the king of diamond, as this is the last suit from the other side, and here for the first one. Now, if you look at the marking of the triple card of the sandwich together, you would read the K and D for king of diamonds. That means it's not the king of diamonds itself, it's just that if you open up this gimmick, the next unharmed card would be exactly the chosen one. So when you go through, you will see the markings in all 4 corners, by the way. King of diamonds, queen of diamonds, jack of diamonds, and then you would continue with the other, with clubs, hearts and spades. Very simple, actually.
It's really simple.
Yeah.
Also, you can do it without the marks, simply counting king, queen, jack, king, queen, jack, and you're done. But the mark, it is
definitely
make you feel
helping,
you
yes.
really comfortable with the trick. Comfortable.
However, when you are handling the deck and when you're doing it yourself, you are not doing it face down. You are doing it still with the backs towards the spectator.
Yeah.
And you go through. Therefore, you can look to the faces while the spectators will see all the backs. So when you come to the card and you separate it, and now making the chosen card visible, let's do it like this here, then I would already see that the card is the right one, but the spectator would not be able to see it yet, as he only sees backs. So no markings that you have to check. It's the marking that we explained earlier with the aces, and then you can turn it around and show all the cards.
Exactly.
So what was the great method that we finally did to make these triplets working? How did you prepare them the first time when you did it?
At the first time, I was not using trios. I was using cards with roughing fluid together. But then we came with the idea of
putting 3 cards together, and certainly the beginning would have been that this would have been treated with science friction, our classic roughing that we are using for so many gimmicks. And then I already had very good experiences with our printing company in Taiwan, that we could do the roughing manufactured directly in the printing process, so that the roughing is printed and not sprayed. And
you can see it when you hand the cards. They are
beautiful,
really beautiful. They are really smooth. You see, it's also really easy to separate it.
Well, that is the point. I can tell you that we always have some people with our invisible decks that have the same roughing, that they struggle a lot to separate them, because they're used to the roughing that is usually sprayed. And then you try to push it over and somehow separate, and the more you push this, the harder it gets to be separated. First of all, make sure that your hands are not dry, because if you really have dry hands, like I right now, you have to have some grip. You either do it with the forehead, that you go there, quickly touching, and now you start having some grip in your fingers. Or you use, for instance, a cream worker's hands. It's a green O'Keeffe cream that you can get in shops. And with that one, you have the perfect grip in your fingers, so that you can easily separate them without any pressure, just by really gently spreading the cards, and they really open up easily when you have grips in your fingers, right? Yeah. So the cool thing about this deck is that we were able to completely print the roughing onto the deck on single cards, sometimes on the faces, that is the last card in the triplet, then on the faces and backs, what are the center cards, the ones that we want to reveal, and then on the back of the first card, so that everything stays together beautifully. And we made it. The deck is turned out really beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was an experiment, and it worked.
Yeah.
Right. So
I'm really happy with the result. Really.
Ask me. It turned out really well, and the handling is just a dream. Now,
if you want, I can show how is the handling that I like to do
separate
right?
them, or
you know, because I like the property that this deck has, that is that you can show backs and faces of the cards. That I think that is really important here. So I like to search for the card with the faces towards me. So let's imagine that the spectator says whatever, the Queen of Spades, for example. So I spread the cards, I see the Ace of Spades, then I know that here, between the Ace of Spades, in this trio is the Jack of Spades, so I count one more, and here it is the Queen of Spades. So I separate the card, I look into the Queen of Spades, and now you see that's really easy for me to separate, but it's also really easy for me to show that the rest of the cards are also burned, right? I upshow the card like this, so you have that image that one card is single, and now, without closing the spread, I come to this position and I show the Queen of Spades, and you can see very clear this, like all of the faces of the cards and all of the backs of the cards at the same time. So that's the thing that I wanted to create there, right?
Well, there's one little improvement that we found out when we performed it for some time, is the roughing really lasts a long time, as it does not come off. However, it can get weakened by collecting dust. So when you are not very sure about a clean table whatsoever, a nice add-on is that you do exactly the same, pick up the queen again, and when you're at the beginning, show some of the cards from the beginning, you're showing them and drop them casually on the table. So now you have definitely a surface where you now can put this selected queen in the middle there, and you know that is exactly, just drop it there, and now you know that this card does not touch any surface, cannot collect any dust, and the roughing will always be the same. That's a nice little detail, but I think it helps a lot to get a very long-lasting roughing experience. Yeah.